No one else objected. We all donned the protective suits and headed downstairs to the decompression room.
If he puts that on over his suit, like, his armor's going to tear it.
I mean, unless he has his weird K-size...
Unless he's just confident that his weird armor he doesn't understand happens to be, like, basically a spacesuit. Which maybe it is. I don't know.
Maybe it is.
But, like, if he puts that squishy-ass armor on, like, that spacesuit over it, like, his weird spiky armor is going to tear it.
Yeah.
Just reminds me of when Dio was wearing the spacesuit and his portrait still showed him with a hat on. And we were like, how the fuck is he wearing that?
I forgot about that. Yeah. I forgot he was literally outside with a suit on with a hat.
Yeah.
As soon as we were all inside, the process began. Through my helmet, I could hear the soft hiss of air being sucked out of the room. We stood there for several minutes waiting for the process to finish.
When are we gonna go back to the past?
That's really, like, that's what I'm thinking. Like, why are we even going outside at this point?
At last I did, and we heard the door begin to open. Beyond it was another decompression chamber. We repeated the process 2 more times before we reached the final door and opened it.
It's just Fallout.
How big is the difference in temperature?
And...
The dead, bleak landscape wasn't a surprise for me. I'd seen it before in another timeline.
Who knows who that is?
Ohio, who is this?
The others hadn't, however, and although I couldn't see their faces, through the visors of their helmets I heard more than a few gasps over the radio. For a few long moments we just stood there, astonished.
Where the hell are we? The desert, I guess? I figured that out. I mean, which one? I don't know, but I think I know what day it is.
What?
Look at the moon. It's red, right? That means today's the total lunar eclipse.
Yeah, I still don't think we're on...
I don't think that's the moon, honey.
I mean, that's not the right color for Mars.
You bet your ass it is.
Mars is not red. Not like that.
I mean,
it's still entirely possible we're on Earth, despite your claims otherwise.
No.
You just want it to be the one thing you're right about?
Yeah.
Because you haven't been right about anything else?
Yes.
Remember the astronomy magazine in the lounge? Well, the next eclipse like this was going to be on December 31st, 2028. So... Wait a minute. Let me get this straight. Are you suggesting we were sleeping for a week after we were abducted?
No, because how is Junpei fucking old? No.
Yeah, they still haven't caught up with the time travel. Listen, they haven't been important to the story, so they have no fucking clue what's happening. They're so useless.
I think so.
Wherever we were, we must have been far away from any city. The air was cleaner than I'd ever seen. The sky was full of them, more stars than I'd ever seen in my life. I could even spot the hazy arm of the Milky Way.
I'm sorry, are you stamping your hand and looking at me like that's proof we're on
Yes.
space?
Yes.
Even though, like, the apocalypse happened, which means that nothing's been creating smog for like 30 or 40 years.
No, a week.
No, don't fucking go back to a week like you agree with them.
If that's what they say it is.
That's not, wait, we know they're wrong.
Well,
but the most striking feature was the moon. It was blood red and massive, much bigger in fact than I remembered it being. Then as I watched, a black spot began to move across its surface. It was hard to see the details, but it looked circular. The spot continued to move across the moon, heading for the right edge. What's that?
that's not how eclipses work, you motherfucker.
You're saying you're saying that that's Mars and we're eclipsing it?
Yes.
Yeah, it could be. That's way too fucking red, by the way, though. You've seen Mars, right?
Well, yeah.
Like, that color is wrong.
I mean,
that color is so wrong.
It's more like a sandy brown.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Well, the moon's shadow, actually.
The moon's shadow? I frowned.
really, that's all you did, Sigma? You didn't, like, jump to conclusions?
That didn't make any sense.
Zero told me to stay quiet. I think think he was worried I'd spill the beans on his operation. He said if I didn't toe the line, he wouldn't just kill me. He'd kill Quark, too. And I agreed, like an idiot, and brought
Wait.
Quark with me.
Is he about to say that he knew we were on Mars? Or Mars's moon?
Yes.
Because if he's going to say that, then, like, why did he want to escape with Quark so bad if there was nowhere to escape to?
Because there is a way to escape, apparently.
I don't, let's see.
Just so I could see her. Such an idiot. So, that being the case, might as well start with this. I meant what I said before. That up there is the moon's shadow.
What the hell are you saying?
Think about it. If that's the moon's shadow, then what's it falling on?
That's Earth?
Yeah.
What?
Wait, Earth is just red?
Earth is just gone. Just Radical 6 just turned it blood red.
Was it Radical 6 or something else? What made it literally red?
All the blood in the water.
That's not how anything works.
It's not the red moon you get from a lunar eclipse.
No way. You know, this means you were right. The first time you shouted that we were on the moon, specifically, you were exactly right. Which even you didn't think was true. Like, for the majority of this playthrough, you've thought that that rumor was wrong, but you've been claiming to it the idea that it was kind of right because we're on Mars.
Well, we have to be in space.
So it was like right-ish.
My general opinion was we're not on Earth.
Your outburst of being on the moon, based on a half-second explosion frame, was right the whole playthrough.
No, because the only reason I changed my mind was because we saw the color picture and it was red. Remember, because the first picture we saw was black and white, and I was like, that's Earth. Why are we not on Earth? And then you were like, that's the moon. And I was like, no, that's fucking Earth.
No, but it clearly wasn't Earth, because we looked back at it and nothing about it looked like Earth.
Yeah.
And you were like, which is why we agreed that that wasn't that it.
Yeah.
But yeah, literally your first shout you made was that we were on the moon, and you said that in like episode 3.
You think this is a mystery, boy? I solved the case immediately.
Not really the important part, but
It kind of is.
I don't think it is.
It kind of nullifies most of the emergency escape routes.
Well, yeah, it fucks up the escapes, but doesn't affect the main plot part.
Oh, it does.
This isn't a lunar eclipse. It's a solar eclipse. Anybody in the black spot down there is looking up at the moon covering the sun.
What? No way. If that's Earth, then where the hell are we?
The
Sigma.
moon, of course. This is the lunar surface. We were just inside a moon base. No way.
Wait, is that-
No,
is-
You've gotta be lying.
Is that Quark? Who is that? Who the fuck is this?
I don't know. It's anyone besides Quark. It's anyone besides. I like that all this is being played up as the twist, and you fucking called it immediately.
How do you expect us to believe that?
What a revelation.
This can't be the moon? Yeah. That's pretty ridiculous. Besides, if this was the moon, how do you explain the gravity? The moon only has 1/6 of the Earth's gravity. So
Oh, that's a
what's
good
this?
point. Yeah.
Yeah, why did no one ever notice that?
Yeah.
Why
She picked
did,
up a rock and dropped it.
why did only Luna notice the gravity?
Yeah.
I mean, sorry, Phi.
yeah.
That's weird, right? Because she knew about it, apparently.
See? That looked perfectly normal. Yes, it looked that way.
Because of Radical 6.
Sakenayo! Are you kidding me?
Because of
Radical 6 makes everything slow, so by comparison, you think that...
No, the Radical 6 makes everything look like it's moving fast.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
So
Sorry.
no one's noticed. So no one's.
So you don't notice
no one's
gravity's
noticing
moving?
that gravity's slower. It only comes up when Phi jumps mega high, because she can also do that. But nobody questioned it because everything's moving at normal speed. Because it's 1/6 gravity, but Radical 6 makes you move at 1/6 speed.
Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you for making this bullshit explanation for Radical 6 just so you could pass this off.
Luna,
You were right about the gravity in a way.
Because we're on the moon, yeah.
That's dumb. Don't do that. That's a stupid name.
I mean, I suggested it before.
I was one of the people who knew this wasn't Earth. Well, I suppose I'm not people, if we're being honest, but... Excuse me?
It's just time to catch up Alice on a lot of things.
Just well, everyone.
Just so that we can go back in time and undo this anyway, so we don't need to explain it to her.
Please just listen.
Damn.
Alice, you were infected with Radical 6. Then we gave you the Excelivir, which cured you. The Radical 6 isn't completely gone, though. some of its symptoms stick around for a while.
What symptoms?
Well, Radical 6 can slow down your brain's processing speed by the root of 1/6.
Can I just explain how confusing this is, by the way?
How?
In a story where everyone is Radical 6 the whole time to explain why they don't notice they're on the moon, people then get Mega Radical 6, and then they cure the Mega Radical 6, but they still have Radical 6.
No, they have the
like that base level of
effects.
I'm saying that like that base level of Radical 6 that everyone has from the beginning of the game is always maintained at all times, so that the illusion of being on the moon or not is never shattered, even though they have the radical change of 2 people getting super infected then cured.
Yeah.
And then they still go back to the exact same weird base level, even though like that's the disease that everyone else has had already. And it's like nothing. I don't think any of that works. I don't think any of that explanation actually works of how they change states between levels of Radical 6.
Yeah,
still maintaining a Radical 6.
I think their really shitty cop out is that idea that like you've been cured of the suicidal portion, but like all the lingering after effects of Radical 6
is Radical
being...
6 permanent? Like, do they have permanent brain damage?
No,
they're always going to move at this exact speed?
No, they're saying that they're saying after the cure, it takes a while for the lingering effects of Radical 6 to go away, which is one of them happens to be the brain's processing speed.
So was everyone except for them infected and cured back to back? And
No,
doing the whole thing while cured, or are they all just
They all are just waiting to explode.
Yeah, all 7 of them are just going to like freak out any moment now.
Yes.
It's just like, what? But they knew that 2 of them were going to freak out because there was 2 Axelavir bottles.
Yes.
What the...
Well, remember...
Oh, no, it's getting back to being really dumb and contrived and nonsensical again.
Well, you have to remember that June had a vision and she saw all of this.
Fuck you.
So...
It can take a while for your brain to get back up to speed.
Back up to speed? You're not catching it up. Like, your brain's not like, wait, where was I?
All of our brains have been processing information at a much lower speed. If you evaluated the root of 1/6, you'll get a number close to 0.408.
Wait, like once again, by the way, they have Mega Radical 6. Andrew.
Yeah.
Because everyone else is already moving at 1/6 speed, so that they don't notice that they're on the moon.
Mm-hmm.
But then those other 2 people went 1/6.
Yeah.
So they got double Radical 6.
Well, no, their brain just like started going into, I guess, shock.
Because everyone else is already moving at the Radical 6 speed, and they went into Radical 6 speed. This is getting really confusing.
Well, it's just Radical 6 to the second power.
It's a really contrived... That's not... No, you can't... First of all, no, it's not to the second power.
No, because
that would undo the square root.
That would undo the square root.
That would just make it normal. That would make you Tony Hawk speed. You would just be regular radical.
Why did you call it Radical 6? That's such a fucking dumbass
Bringing
name.
it back.
That means our brains are running at something slightly less than half speed. As you said before, the moon's gravity is about 1/6 that of Earth's. The time that it takes for an object to fall is inversely proportional to the square root of the gravitational acceleration. Since the gravity is lower on the moon, that means the time increases. I guess that's a little technical.
Just think about how funny this has been this entire time to... Oh my god. This has been so funny to June the whole time, because like watching a video on like 25% speed. Like, she's just been like watching in her observatory while we're all like, Alice, no. And that's why she talks so slow, because she's in fast forward. So she's talking super slow at us because we won't be able to understand her otherwise. Alice.
Till the moment that Alice is trying to kill herself, she was going even slower.
Like super slow.
So she's watching Alice
Why won't anyone wear a swimsuit?
I'm just imagining she's sitting there watching it, drinking tea at normal speed, and Alice is just like...
yes, quite.
Alice is just like slowly moving a knife to her chest, and she's sitting there like...
She's moving at 1/6 to 1/6 speed.
And she's just watching, she's like, I wonder if Sigma can stop her. She's just like, and Sigma's just like,
This week on the slow-mo, guys.
It's just like
I'll give you an example. Say you drop an apple from a height of 4.9 meters.
what the fuck are you, Isaac Newton? I don't need this shit.
Luna, you already explained it.
Yeah.
Wait, no, Andrew, I'm gonna catch it this time. I'm gonna catch it. We're gonna wait for the exact moment for the in other
It will
words.
take approximately 1 second to hit the ground. On the moon, however, that time would be 1 second times root 6, which would be approximately 2.45 seconds.
You ready for it?
In other
I
words,
used 4.9
fuck.
meters because it matches up with the acceleration of gravity nicely, but it could be anything.
in other words,
Gravity constant is slow.
Are you just gonna keep saying this every time now?
yes. In other
You could
words,
drop something from 10 centimeters or 10 meters and it would be the same.
In other words.
in other words,
Does that make sense?
Oh, dang it.
in other
Now we've
words.
established that on the moon, things fall root 6 times slower than they do on Earth.
Oh, I'm feeling it now. In other words,
That being the case,
damn it. Damn
what
it.
would happen if someone's brain slowed down by root 1/6?
In other words,
2.45 seconds would feel like 1 second. 4.9 seconds would feel like 2.
in other words,
But it's not hypothetical.
in other
It's what's
words,
been happening to every one of us.
in other words, it has to happen. It always
You're
happens.
saying that's the reason we didn't notice the weaker gravity?
In other
Are
words,
you sure you didn't notice anything? Think back.
God damn it. Don't do this to me.
You and Sigmund Phi said something about it in the lounge. About how you felt weird. It's kind of like my body isn't really mine. I'm sort of floating. Like that.
It seemed insane, but what Luna said made sense. In fact, it explained Phi's apparently superhuman strength quite well.
Which only she noticed she had, apparently. How did no one else ever encounter that? Seriously, no one else.
Not even
Ever.
Dio.
No one tried to jump?
Because was Dio infected with Radical 6? Wait.
How did
Dio-
did Quark, who's super short, never go like try to jump at something because they couldn't reach it and go whoa?
Because he was going too slow.
No.
So he like jumped and then grabbed it as he needed to.
This is crazy. That can't possibly be Earth out there. Look at it. I've seen photos of Earth and it's blue and green and beautiful.
And flat.
I've been meaning to say that. You're all colorblind now.
That thing is just red.
Before we get into that, I should probably tell you something. This isn't New Year's Eve in 2028. Today is January 27th.
In 29?
Sigma.
No,
Don't tell me.
Sigma still doesn't know?
still no.
30? That's just 2 years. What the
Just
fuck?
what year is this?
It's 74.
Holy shit!
2074.
Holy shit! What if you went to bed in 2018 and someone was like, yo, it's 2060 now? I'd be like, what? Like,
No,
what?
Junpei aged like 60 years.
Holy shit.
He's like 80 years old right now.
That would be an insane wake-up call.
Seriously, that whole like in the rain thing was a serious risk to his health. He could have died. He was probably like 76 years old.
No.
Mate? That's, you know, the Japanese voice actors are saying that in the scene over and over again.
They're probably saying like, choto mate. Bakana.
That would mean we were abducted more than 45 years
I
ago.
don't blame you if you don't believe me, but it's the truth.
Well,
You be sure.
It's not that hard. Quark and I left Earth on January 23rd, 2074. Solar eclipses are easy to predict. We've known that there'd be one on the 27th for a long time. That's just science. Nobody can change that.
damn. Straight
Why
facts.
is the Earth red?
That's a long story. About 45 years ago, on April 13th, 2029, there were 8 18 annihilation reactors operating in various parts of the world.
And then there were 0.
I wish you said April
The
1st.
13th, all 18 of them went up.
What?
All at the same time.
What?
So after all this time, it wasn't even Radical 6. It was just a bunch of bombs exploded.
No, there were nukes.
No.
What?
They were antimatter reactors.
Oh. So, I guess they're not nukes, but like...
They're not nukes, but they are like
Enough?
atomic bombs
Yeah,
of a sort.
they're like-
And that
yeah.
atoms are I mean, they involve atoms.
Yeah, it is
technically.
splitting atom? Or not
Well,
splitting atoms,
no,
but it's
not really.
like...
It's matter and antimatter of
it's
equal mass
removing
exploding.
atoms?
It's just annihilation. It's an
Okay.
annihilation bomb.
Wait, why did you have annihilation reactors? What the fuck is wrong? What?
In 2029.
Yeah.
It's weird that Radical 6 didn't wipe everyone out of all things.
Maybe that's what the end result was.
Maybe?
Maybe Radical 6...
It was about 180,000 times as powerful as the atom bomb they dropped on Hiroshima.
Are we still talking about that? It's like 2074. Move on. Like, god damn.
Jesus.
There hasn't been another fucking bomb that's been dropped since then?
What? Why?
I suppose it started a few months before that.
Myrmidons?
The government had a test site for a future Mars mission out in the middle of Nevada. On December 31st, 2028, there was an accident.
Are you giving a guy that grew up in Japan shit for remembering Hiroshima?
I'm giving him shit for like...
The Junpei is Japanese.
Well, yeah, but I'm giving him shit for like using that as an example, like 45 or not
I mean,
even
obviously
45
that's
years
not the
later.
most catastrophic thing that happened in his life, because those antimatter bombs
Yeah,
were.
well-
But it's his point of reference for explaining the destruction of the thing that these people have not witnessed to something that they knew about.
And I'm saying that
It's a reasonable explanation.
I'm saying,
of
why would you
comparison.
use the atom bomb at Hiroshima as your go-to option?
Because it's the only other thing to compare it to.
No,
until then.
we dropped nuclear bombs as tests before.
Yeah, but no one cares about those. We try to pretend they aren't happening.
We dropped them in Nevada.
Accident doesn't quite convey the right sense of the thing. The point is, Radical 6 claimed its first victims there, then escaped. Didn't take long for it to spread to the rest of the world.
Escape? You act like it fucking booked it. Like,
Like Luna explained, the virus slows your brain down, but eventually, it also makes you kill yourself. Pretty soon, the bodies started to pile up. Some people would take a dive off a building or shoot themselves in the head.
Jesus.
The classics.
the classic.
Jesus.
You know, like the Beethovens and the Mozarts of suicide.
Junpei.
Like-
Jesus. But also, I wish we could have this whole conversation with normal voice acting instead of this red versus blue shit.
Yeah.
For some, it was poison, or fire, or asphyxiation, or the noose. Plenty of people jumped in front of trains or cars.
Wait, how were they driving trains
I
or
want to
cars?
point out that this is the happening.
Yeah.
I want to point out that Virtue's Last Reward is a cross between Days of Future Past and The Happening, Critical Darling.
And World War II.
No.
Or no, not World War
You can't be like, they said Hiroshima, it's World War II.
II. Sorry, I mean, no, I got confused by that. I meant Chernobyl.
Chernobyl?
Well, their plants just went... It's kind of how it worked there.
It's not really important to the story as much.
Sure it is.
One pilot on a passenger airline drove his plane into the ground. Most forms of transportation ground to a halt pretty fast. That meant food couldn't get distributed, and thousands of people who weren't even infected died from starvation.
Did it
Everywhere
stop
you
pretty
went, There were
fast?
just
Probably stopped really slow.
piles of corpses, covered in flies and rats and crows. I don't know what hell's like, but I imagine it's a lot like that.
Oh,
Weird.
I guess that picture had color.
Managed to avoid getting infected, started trying to get in touch with one another.
Someone painted a color picture and they were like, we're not gonna show that. We're gonna make it black and white. I'm like, we'll put all the work into it.
They got a hold of some radios and organized a couple meetings. There was only one thing to discuss, of course. How could they get rid of Radical 6? The answer, they decided, was purification. They figured they could just roast the surface of the Earth and that'd kill the virus off for good.
What?
On April 13th in 2029, they put their plan into effect. That plan was to detonate all 18 annihilation reactors.
What? You think that was gonna work?
We gotta kill this virus. I know, we'll blow up the Earth.
Isn't like...
Wait a minute.
That's mostly just rumor. Nobody really knows what happened.
Oh. It's probably because it's not what happened. It's probably because it's a really dumb explanation of the fact that the reactors blew up due to lack of maintenance due to the apocalypse happening. I think it was just an accident that happened.
I would imagine,
or a terrorist. It could have been Free the Soul.
Yeah, it could have been Free the Soul.
These are all better explanations than fucking idiots.
Yeah, then fucking like we're gonna burn the Earth's atmosphere off so that way it will kill Radical 6 so we can all live there
off
again.
The nose despite the face like thing where it's like, why would you do that? That doesn't fix the problem. That just kills everyone.
But I've got my own theories.
I hope so, because it's a stupid idea.
I think that the bombers had already been infected, and when they died, they took billions with them.
See, that's a way better idea. People, yeah. It was just Radical 6 made people blow up the planet because they're like, kill us all, we must die.
Ultimate, if I die, you're coming with me gesture, I suppose. I'd bet you money they'd all lost it long before they got to the reactors. Killing most of the world, no matter how bad things had gotten, was not a sane plan. Even if it wasn't directly responsible, Radical 6 killed most of the people on Earth. Anyway, why it happened isn't that important. Point is,
Okay.
it happened.
I mean, that's not how history should be remembered, but okay.
Well, that's basically what we got.
That's how real history works, though.
Well, I mean,
There's a lot of history where like, this is what happened. We're not entirely sure why, and then they will posit ideas sometimes.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like,
they'll make it clear that they don't know for sure.
I'm saying usually you want to usually why it happened is kind of important to some degree.
It's like what the Roanoke situation, where like they know a village disappeared, they don't know why, and they might never know why.
The explosions threw a ton of crap up into the stratosphere, where it joined up with smoke and ash from all the fires. It blotted out the sun for 7 years. Plants withered and animals died by the millions. The few humans who were left banded together to survive.
I mean, that's what happened to the dinosaurs.
They were rough times. Eventually they were over, though. The sky cleared and the sun came back. Plants started blooming again, and the animals that hadn't died out completely began to reappear. Things weren't quite back to normal, though. It's been 45 years now, but there's still quite a bit of dust and ash in the air. That's what you're seeing. You know why a sunset's red? Well, this is the same thing. Blue and green light have short wavelengths, and they scatter when they run into debris in the air. Red light, on the other hand, has a longer wavelength, which means it'll get a lot farther when the air's dirty. So there you are. The Earth looks red because that's the only color of light that can make it through the atmosphere.
Huh.
Yeah,
That's a good idea.
that's all real.
We can actually like make aliens think the planet's barren by just coating it with ash.
by just ruining it.
Yeah.
Period. And,
Good idea.
And then it will become barren. Yay!
Nailed it.
What a great plan. This is why we don't let Andrew have power.
I was speechless. What could I possibly say? There was no reason for Tenmyoji to lie to us.
Also, we're in spacesuits in space.
Take your mask off if you don't believe him.
So we were standing on the moon, looking at the Earth. It was 2074. But why? But where were we? Why were we there? Why were we then?
By the way, like, their description does not work.
Of what?
The 1/6 explanation.
Of time?
Yeah.
Why?
Like, nothing about that. It only explains why stuff would fall at the normal speed. It doesn't explain why they wouldn't notice that they were on the moon due to, like, gravity clearly being off. You would notice being 1/6 of your own weight. That's severe. That's not just a time perception thing. That's fucking huge.
Yeah.
That's insane.
I feel like a lot of your basic actions would be noticeably different comparatively.
Yeah. Yeah, like it doesn't work at all.
Like, wait, even when people-
or like the part where people pile up on you, like
Yeah.
I can't lift him. I'm like, yeah, you can. He weighs 20 pounds.
Yeah, I was gonna
Like,
say, I
they
was
weigh-
just about to
they
point out,
weigh
like,
so
every
little.
time that we held someone down, there's no possible way they couldn't have just shoved us off like they were
Yeah,
made
like
of.
human beings would weigh as much as like your computer tower. Like it would be so far off. Have you read that already?
Yeah.
I was so lost in thought I barely noticed Fi's approach.
Hey, Sigma. I think I figured something out.
A window popped up on the inside of my helmet with Whisper in the corner. She seemed to be using a circuit only we could hear.
They figured that out quickly.
That's nice. It's a nice feature built into the helmet.
Yeah. That they found out about her, apparently.
Yeah. What is it?
I figured out why there's an extra E.
An extra E?
In the lion thing or the other one? The...
Ninth.
What?
Ninth.
Well, yeah, when the 9th... Yeah, you're right.
Oh, you mean the graffiti?
Yeah.
She's
the
gonna
one on
finally...
floor B.
She's gonna finally tell us what the anagram is.
I think it's an anagram. Just like on...
What's Anna say this
God
time?
damn it, Sigma. Knock it off.
Gee, look, man, everyone's dead.
The ninth lion ate the sun.
Fuck.
Rearrange
God
the
damn it,
letters you
Sigma.
get. The man on the moon rules the infinite time.
The fuck?
Well, you think that her outburst there, where she went like, "God damn it, Sigma," made it really obvious that the two of us are talking to each other and no one else can hear us because she's like gesturing at us in person,
Maybe.
and we're like just, it's like we're like at each other, and everyone's like, "What's going on? What's going on over there?" The man on the moon rules the infinite time. That's not even a good
Anagram?
anagram.
No, it's not.
But why?
You need 6 E's to get that.
But why even say that?
Yeah, why
So
even?
they stuck an extra one in 9.
Especially, glad we're solving this after we already know everything. Really,
I think we were only able to
sh-
solve it because we know everything.
it really sheds light on things.
The man on the moon rules the infinite time.
I think it's a message for us from Zero Senior and Akane. Remember what she was telling us?
It's a really inefficient way to send messages. How about the earlier part where we talk to each other face to face?
We created the AB project for one purpose: to transport the conscious.
So, what are you getting at?
My God, you're slow. You don't get it? They're saying we rule the infinite time. Infinite time. They weren't just talking about having us jump a couple hours.
I swear to God, Fi, yes, we get it.
I think they're planning to send us back. Way back.
In other words.
In other words, yeah, I was about to say that.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you think they're going to send us back 45 years?
I'd bet on it.
So the ultimate purpose of the AB project is to send us back in time to that catastrophe Tenmayoji was talking about.
I think so.
That doesn't make any sense, though. I mean, we came from that same time period before it, actually. So why bring us here and then send us back?
Well, Akane should be able to tell us the rest. Let's go pay her a visit.
This is the longest ending ever.
Do you know where she is?
I've got an idea. Come on, think. Remember what she said when she gave you the key?
Tu fui ego eris.
She's gonna be like, dude, you were supposed to use that before you left. Now you fucked it up. Like you locked yourself out and now you fucked it up. It is inside. We really did fuck it up because it's the grave from the beginning of the game. How funny would it be if, like, this is the key to Dio's handcuffs? You're supposed to forgive him.
So many tears of frustration.
I can't believe they forgot to use the key.
The grave.
That was inside.
The one in the garden.
Well, come on, what are you waiting for?
Why didn't they think of this before they came out here?
Wait, what?
Go.
Wait, what? Go where? We can't just go back
I
in.
guess they're gonna time warp back.
Wait, what?
Wait, can they just go back in?
We turned and ran back to the pressure exchange chamber. The others following close behind because
Wait.
there was no spaceship to go back to fucking Earth.
Wait, you just go back inside after you leave?
Yeah, why not?
That never came up in all the endings where somebody tried to leave and they're like, in second thought, never mind. Like, that never comes up.
Wait, that's you in a suit?
So you were wearing that? How'd your giant arms fit in those skinny ass things? Please can we please take his armor off?
What are you doing?
I'm so sorry, Kay.
Something?
We're going to go have
A talk with somebody?
Wait,
Wait, is Akane in the grave? Why is she in the grave?
did you notice that due in part to them having to do the radio sound, Sigma or K doesn't sound the same. They removed his robotic filter and had to replace it with a audio, like a comms filter.
Even though it should be both filters
Yes.
stacking, which would be awful.
Yeah, which is why they removed it. So now he sounds different. He doesn't sound like the
Yeah.
robot suit.
He sounds like a different person.
Yeah.
We're learning what Sigma's voice actor sounds like in the next game.
really need me to spell it out?
Yes, because nobody knows what happened, Sigma. You asshole.
What an indignant piece of shit.
Yeah, like Sigma and Phi have been involved in so much shit that nobody else knows about.
You can't travel in time, okay, you plebeian?
Who are you, not Dr. Manhattan? Fucking Rorschach motherfucker over here. I don't want you to see my face.
The person behind all this.
You mean Akane?
What?
I'll take that as a yes.
You knew?
Well, yeah, you grew up.
I guess we decided he remembers now. Like he's done being an amnesiac.
Wait.
Let me accompany you then.
Wait,
What?
why do you know about Akane?
I'll tell you when we get there. Now, if you please. I'm coming with you. You folks just said the magic word.
I'm going to then. So am I.
I guess we're gonna have a fucking.
I mean, why would anyone not come?
Yeah.
Like, I'm just gonna sit here and not know things. I want to stare at this wall.
What's
for
Clover
long.
gonna say?
Hey, is this Akane you're talking about?
Clover's currently doing. You remember season 2 of Power Rangers?
Yeah.
When the Blue Ranger was a little kid that like was suddenly tall in their suit.
Yeah.
That's currently Clover and Quark.
Yeah.
Like, neither of them are short.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know her real well.
Wait, you're serious? What the hell is going on?
Ah, shut up!
Also, Temioji, just tell Clover who you are.
She knows.
Oh yeah, she does. Wait.
Just shut up. Come on if you want to. We don't need to do a roll call. Once we get there, Akane can explain everything. With that, we headed back through the airlock.
Oh my god, it's taking
Which takes like
forever.
half an hour, by the way.
It's taking forever. How do you reopen that door?
I guess the door can open from behind. That it has been able to this whole time.
Dio's just standing at the 9 door waiting for us, very angrily. Where the fuck did you guys go? It's like, oh, yeah, you can go outside if you want to, that's fine. He's like, I'm out of here, and he just runs out without the pressure suit, and just like flies into the space.
He walks into the pressure chamber and explodes. He wasn't much for reading instructions.
He wasn't much for reading.
Remember round 2? Every game. Oh yeah, I love this animation. Let's watch it 30 more times.
Why can it? How did that happen?
I don't know how they opened it. Maybe when the elevator goes
But
back
wait, can
down.
we open it from the other side?
Apparently.
The number 9 door on floor A is shut forever once the game ends. Assuming Zero Jr. was telling the truth, of course.
Wait, did they just open floor B?
Yeah.
But the door on floor B,
Yeah, thought we might be able to take the lift to it, and it looks like I was right.
Is that clever though? Is it?
It's not
Is it
clever, it's
clever?
convenient.
Because Kay called it clever, and I'm
Yeah.
like, really? Clever. The door is shut permanently, except it's not. JK. Lols.
Any idea where Akane might be?
Yeah, the grave.
Wait, you mean in the garden?
Jesus Christ!
Why is she in the
Yeah.
grave? Why wouldn't she just be in her office or something? But like the other office that isn't an escape room.
Don't worry. I don't think she's buried there or anything. Chances are she's alive. Just in the grave.
She was alive earlier today.
Anyway, let's move to the garden.
I'm just saying, like, that's kind of a fucked up thing to say to Tenmyoji, who's like been waiting his entire life to see Akane again, and he's like, where is she? Oh, she's like in the grave, and he's
And then
like, what?
Junpei starts having his inner monologue he always has whenever he finds out Akane's dead. Where it's just like fucking like hot topic poems and shit.
He just starts remembering the bunny situation at the
Yeah.
fucking elementary school.
They love this garden.
I mean, it is the nicest looking escape room.
It was the most playable one.
Yeah.
Is Akane really under here?
And also, we finally get to open this goddamn lock.
Okay, I don't think she's under there. I think like
I just
you
gotta
do
say,
it and it opens a door or something.
Akane's gonna be like, you were supposed to remember this earlier. Like, what the fuck? Like, because they left. What if that door didn't? What if there wasn't a way back inside? They had to write a whole way to come back
well,
inside.
they could have like teleported back.
But the story had to write a whole way to get back inside because these assholes forgot to use the key.
But the story wrote them to run outside like assholes.
Yeah, but I mean, like, they had to write a new mechanic in how this place works just because these people forgot to use the key while they were in here. And they had hours.
I bet you.
They weren't under a time limit.
I bet you he wrote the original story and forgot to finish the Akane
He just forgot
thing.
to use the key.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And someone was like, what is that key for? He's like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
I think so.
That became Tutui Ego Eretz, but used to say like YouTube Rute.
What should we do? Are we gonna dig her out?
No, I don't think we'll have to do anything like that. Shut up, kid. You see the keyhole in the grave? If I just insert this here, I pulled the key off my ankle and lifted it into the hole and fitted it into the hole. I twisted it into the right, or to the right until I heard something unlock. With a quiet grinding, the grave began to shift.
Oh, it's a staircase? Yeah. Oh, no, it's an...
Wait, she's in a pod?
Wait, what? Why did you
There's
put
a whole pod underground.
Yeah, why did you put a pod underground in the garden?
So to answer your question, Andrew, no, she wasn't observing. She was in a pod.
Well, I don't know. The pod could have monitors in there.
It's like a horrible coffin she confined herself to for 12 hours.
Well, she didn't want to get in the way.
But
her office was turned into an escape
That's
room.
horrible. She probably had like a janitor's like closet she could hang out in.
Janitor's closet.
She better be unconscious in there. Being conscious in there would be awful.
Well, it is like, yeah.
That's like hell.
Also,
Jesus.
like, why would you be in the... Oh, I guess the treatment pod cryo freezes you. Why would you be cryo freezed?
Yeah, it's a treatment pod.
Oh my god.
It is, isn't it?
The glass on the cover had frosted over, making it opaque. We couldn't see who or what was in it.
We opened it up and it's Santa. It's still not June. It's Ace.
Let's see what's inside.
Oh my god, if it was Ace, I would
After
lose.
10,000 years, I'm free.
If it was Ace, we open it up and he goes like, oh, hey, you guys want to know what happened in 999? It's like, no. And Junpei just closes the fucking treatment
In
pod.
addition to explaining this game, he starts explaining the other game, but Junpei's like, nope.
He's like, boring. He just closes it.
No good. I think it's locked.
You think it's locked?
Treatment pod TP00. Stage 1. Defrosting.
Okay, that's a little weird. You recorded yourself saying that your pod was gonna defrost? That's kind of a weird thing to do, right?
It's a weird thing to live through.
Complete in 10 minutes.
10 fucking minutes!
Once stage 2 is complete, the lock will automatically disengage.
Right, cold sleep.
What?
These pods can put people into cold sleep.
Now I'm wondering if it's her or not. Why would she put herself in cold sleep for 1 day?
Well, I think she put herself in cold sleep because she's as cold as ice. Willing to
Because she
pay
has
the
Ice
price.
9.
What if the treatment pods are the excuse for Ice 9?
I'm genuinely. It's gonna be Santa, isn't it?
No.
Why would you put herself in a cryopod? That's a full-on cold sleep for 1 day. What is the point of that?
Because she don't want to fucking wait.
It's the dumbest shit.
It uses something called gas to freeze human bodies without destroying their cells.
So, Ms. Akane's like an ice cube?
Cold as ice.
I think so.
Willing to sacrifice our love.
She is.
She's fucking cold as shit.
Yeah.
Then we gotta wait till she melts?
Okay, well, look.
Yeah.
So how about you tell us your story while we wait, Kay? Specifically, why do you know Akane?
The Kunoichi.
I remembered
What do you remember?
everything.
I'm
I was
you.
born and raised in this facility.
Wait, what?
It's called Rhizome 9. A rhizome is an underground plant stem that spreads by sending out roots. Kind of makes sense, doesn't it? This facility is a little like a rhizome.
Sure,
Is
whatever.
it?
That's
Whatever,
why they call
man.
these installations that. The number comes from the facility's number. There are 54 rhizomes on the moon.
What?
This is the 9th one.
There's like just fucking a ton of these
Are
everywhere?
they all doing Nonary games at the same time? But then why is Akane only in this? They're all Akane clones. There's 54 Akane clones in every single space station. There's another Akane clone and another Sigma. There's clones of all of us.
All of us are in clones in all of these
All 9 of us
facilities.
are close to every facility to speed up and increase the likelihood of that this succeeds overall. There's 54 copies of us everywhere. By the way, I always want to point out, if this was like Nier Automata, they'd be like, it's called this thing. And then they'd move on, and it'd be up to the audience to be like, oh, look, it's a clever little name of the thing. It's like, it's a reference to Icarus or whatever the fuck. But like, this one's like, I will now explain what that means. That's really clever, isn't it? like they're like,
Yeah.
Not only does he have to explain his reference, but then he has to say, it makes sense, right? Like, god damn it.
He's like trying to confirm with us if we agree. He's like,
Do I need to explain Schrodinger's cat again?
You've seen a rhizome, right? You know what a
I can
rhizome
do
is.
it. I can explain Schrodinger's cat again. Have you heard of Ice 9? Kurt Vonnegut's pretty cool, right?
Well,
Why is
I suppose
Kevin
the
Bacon in my
other ones don't really
Wikipedia
know
history?
anything, do they? In any event, I grew up here with Akane and Zero Senior. I watched them create the AB project.
Okay, first off,
Why do you
First off, why would you call Santa Zero Senior? That fucking makes no
He's
sense.
still refusing to call him by name, even when we're being honest now.
Yeah.
AB project?
Yes. Its purpose is to send Phi and Sigma, or their consciousnesses at least, to the past.
I'm not redoing this again.
And none of the rest of y'all matter.
we
Get
just
fucked, bro.
We just fucking heard this.
Back 45 years, right?
So, you want us to change history, huh?
In other
Go
words,
back
damn
and
it.
keep Radical 6 from getting out, and stop the reactors from exploding. That's our mission?
Well, not exactly.
What do you mean?
It's true that the ultimate goal of the project is to keep Radical 6 from spreading to the general population. But even if you do make it back, you won't be able to do much. By now, it's already too late.
Too late?
What do you
Let me
mean?
begin at the beginning.
That's usually how
You
stories
might be
work.
thinking that Zero Senior and Akane were the ones who created all this, but that's not entirely correct. They only followed the histories they'd already seen. It was the only choice they had. Nothing less than the future of mankind is at stake. We need the two of you to jump through timelines while maintaining your memories. That is why you had to play the AB game, and why the chromatic doors were necessary.
We know!
By forcing multiple options, you could make numerous jumps. We speculated that jumping more would strengthen your memories.
This is so fucking redundant right now. It's like,
Puzzles
we
were also
get
there
it.
for a purpose.
We get the plot. We get it, guys. We got it. We got it 3 hours ago. It's okay.
Who am
Theories
I?
hold that a moment of insight when
Like,
you solve
am
a
I
puzzle
an
strengthens your connection to the
invalid?
fourth dimension.
Do you think I'm actually an invalid? Like, why would I need to be retold the fucking plot of the goddamn game 3 times?
That was the reason for the puzzles. Your infection with Radical 6 was also a vital part of our plan. By slowing down your brain's processing speed, we can store your potential. With that energy stored up, we just had to provide a life or death situation to launch your consciousness into the fourth dimension.
Wait, are you talking about like a
Like a
slingshot?
bullet from a slingshot.
Andrew has left the room, for the record, because Kay is currently explaining, they're currently re-explaining an earlier part of this novel section, word for word. So Andrew has gotten his dinner so he can eat, because...
What the fuck do I need to pay attention to? I've heard the goddamn plot so many times, I could fucking recite it before he even said it. I knew exactly what part he was gonna go for.
So I want to point out real quick, Andrew.
Yeah.
This game has they've shown that they are aware of the storytelling mechanic where you're like, let me explain. Fade to black. Fade back.
Yep.
You mean? Whoa! Because they know that we already know the thing as an audience, so we don't need to watch them re-explain it.
No, because
But they are.
People play this game in 10-minute
And
increments.
by the way, I'll remind you, when this explanation came up, it was already too much explanation the first time.
Yeah.
Because we were like, I get it. I get it, Akane. I get it. I understand the story. I get it. It's okay. And they're like, let me tell you about slingshots. I'm like, no. Wait. I love Tenmyoji's hand on face, like, open mouth with teeth expression.
That is fucking big mood right now. That is exactly how I feel.
No, this one's fine, but the one where his mouth is open is better.
Yeah,
which
yeah.
he did that for a second just now, but then he animated. I'm like, no, go back, because his open mouth, hand on head is perfect.
Hold on just a minute here. You keep talking about Sigma and Phi, but what about the rest of us?
Y'all can get fucked.
Why did you bring us here?
That's simple. In earlier histories, you were all here in Rhizome 9. We needed you here to accurately replicate those histories.
They did it again. They did it again, Andrew.
Did it again.
They did 999 again.
I cannot be creative.
They literally, everyone else in this game is just here because they saw in the future that they'd be here. So once again, we have a scantily clad ethnic lady who exists here exclusively because somebody saw it in a vision and has no other ties to the story.
I have to say, man,
Like, they can't even make up new things.
y'all motherfuckers said that
You
Virtue's
have
Last.
so much video game. This is one of the longest stories I've ever played. You had so much time to explain why everyone was here. Like, to give every character a connection to Akane or something, or some history with the morphogenic fields, or just anything. But no, once again, Alice is just some asshole. It would have been more interesting if Alice was a mummy and maybe in ancient Egyptian times they discovered morphogenic fields, and that was where all this started. They could have easily done that. That Ace bought the boat and found out about Alice and found out about the ancient morphogenic field teachings that they knew about back then. And then Alice is this woken up mummy, and that's why she's here now, is because she's one of the earliest ties to morphogenetic fields ever. Boy, isn't that a better story than, hey, I'm Alice. I'm from an agency that doesn't matter, and I won't matter this whole game. Watch me stab myself. And then at the end of the explanation of why she's here was, 'cause the future said so.
I just
Like, it's not even hard to come up with better storylines because they wrote them. They already made her a mummy, and the rest fucking writes itself. You need an origin story for why they heard about morphogenetic fields, and one of the easiest things to do, especially in Japanese stories, is to be like, it was an ancient African culture that just, like, found this mysticism thing. Like, it's easy, and you already wrote that story. But not only did they but instead of going with that, they retconned her entire story out of existence to replace it with nothing. They didn't retcon it. Like, it's not like it got in the way of their story because they had to tell a more interesting one. Instead, they told no story with Alice at all. It didn't even keep the one thing she had.
I just want you all to know, from the deepest parts of my heart, that y'all motherfuckers are wrong. Virtue's Last Reward, 999, Zero Time Dilemma, whenever that gets fucking played, they all bad.
Yeah, like, I'm not gonna.
You don't
like,
get
let's
the
not
fucking
mince words here. Like I gave it credit for the fact that this time the explanation for the main story makes more sense than it did last time.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
As in, the plan makes sense this time, because last time the plan didn't make sense.
Yeah, the plan made no fucking sense.
Last game had two plans that didn't make sense. This game has one plan that does make sense, at the very least. But, like, the whole cast is dumb. 90% of the game is you going through a bunch of dead-end stories that don't actually affect the plan or why it's happening or what's going on in it. It's just a bunch of random dead ends of story. All the characters are largely undeveloped. Alice and Clover are here to make faces at people and sometimes die. That's basically their plot.
Same with Quark.
And Alice was literally retconned out of being interesting. She was a more interesting thing that they had set up and could have easily done stuff with, and they deleted all of that. They're like, Control-A, delete. Now she's an agent, and her dad died, and she wants revenge against an evil organization that's not actually a part of the story.
Yeah, are they, like, actually relevant?
Like,
we haven't heard anything about the Myrmidons.
Free the Soul doesn't matter.
Okay.
Aside from the fact that one person came in to sabotage this. But once again, that person being here to sabotage this is only interesting and only makes sense if they were part of the plan the whole time, even if they didn't know it. If they were specifically, like, orchestrated by June. So, like, what the fuck, man? It's infuriating.
I'm just, you can't.
But you can't pull the shit twice in a row where you're like, why did all this stuff happen in this game? Because we saw it in the future. So we had to kidnap Clover, and we had to kidnap Junpei, but only 45 years later when he was old. Like, what do they explain for all those things? We saw it in the future. I'm like, that's not an answer. That's self-recursive. Like people argued with me in the last game too about this, and yes, to be clear, that is not a plot hole, because it is logically consistent, but it's garbage writing because it literally can be used to make every story ever written not have plot holes.
Well, yeah.
You can delete any plot hole in any story ever written by saying they saw the future and that's how it had to happen, so that's why it happened that way.
Think of it in this perspective.
Like it's anti-writing.
Yeah, think of it
anti-drama and it's anti-narrative.
Here,
it's always garbage.
Here's a good example, because a lot of you would probably struggle to think of, like, why is this so bad? You think of the story, like, think of Lord of the Rings, and they say, like, why didn't you just fly on the fucking griffins all the way to Mordor? Well, they saw a future where Frodo threw it in by walking on foot. You would literally throw your popcorn at the screen if they said that.
If any other narrative tried to pull this shit, everyone would be like, the fuck?
The fuck?
But because people are so, like, built, they're just so invested in the idea that they have to like Zero Escape, they're just like, yeah, that's good. Even though they would never accept it in any other story. How could you be invested
when they did it the first time?
I don't understand.
How did you get invested after the first explanation?
I don't understand how people came away from 999 and were like, yeah, I want more. This was great.
You people need lives.
Satisfying conclusion to a narrative.
Go buy a better game. There's a million other stories and games that are so much better. There are better visual novels. There are better anime shows.
By the way, I told you this was going to happen. I told you earlier that, like, there's all these loose ends that need to be concluded and explained. And my problem is that the main narrative is already tightly finished.
Yep.
So how can any of them have satisfying answers? And then they tell us the same thing as last game, which is that reasons.
Not just reasons, because history said so.
And I like you less, Kate, just for being the fucking bearer of bad news here. You take that bullet.
Although I suppose that's probably not a good enough explanation for you. In a sense, though, it is the truth. Our primary goal was to replicate history. The rest is... Yes, I suppose I should explain. Very well. I will try and do so in a way you can understand.
What does that fucking mean?
First, Alice and Clover.
My God, we already get it, dude.
They were abducted 45 years and 1 month ago, on December 22nd, 2028. The location is Earth, of course. More specifically, Los Angeles, California. Correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
After being kidnapped, your bodies were sent to a facility under Akane's direction. You were placed in treatment pods and immediately put into cold sleep. 4 months later, you arrived at this facility.
Wait,
The
you
date
knew...
finally arrived was April 14th, 2029.
What's up?
So you kidnapped them preemptively because you knew that this entire future was going to happen, but again, you didn't stop it.
Yeah, they apparently didn't know that they could just stop the bad thing from happening altogether instead of...
Like Akane's, I can see into the future, but I will not do anything about it.
Jesus, are we getting at another big plot hole here? Or had the bad thing already happened?
No, because none of them knew about Radical 6.
So they kidnapped all these people to stop the bad thing from happening, and then the bad thing happened after they were kidnapped.
Yes.
And now they gotta make magic happen so they can go back in time to stop the bad thing from happening that hadn't happened yet when they were kidnapped.
Yes.
And so this is all a giant complicated plan to just do something where they could have just instead of doing any of this, they could have just stopped the thing.
Yeah. They literally could have just said...
Because Akane saw the future.
Yes.
Which means Akane saw the future of that the bad thing was going to happen.
Yes.
But didn't try to stop it.
No.
Instead, she did this future that she saw.
No, because the only way to make the future not destroyed is by raising Phi and Sigma to be morphogenetically literate, and then they would be able to go back into the past to the time before Akane kidnapped them. So they would have to go into the past before they get kidnapped so they can avoid being kidnapped, so that way they can prevent the apocalypse.
What if they go back in time but not quite enough and they get kidnapped?
Then they have to redo it all over again and then go back in time just a little bit before.
Like, fuck, we only went back to the part where they kidnapped us. Shit, like after all this experiment's done, Sigma wakes up in his car and then gets gassed. And it's like, no, all of this work.
That's the thing, though. But so he literally has to travel back in time.
Oh no.
Pre getting kidnapped.
We'll see if this timeline works out, but like I might have to take back the only praise I gave, which is that this time the plan makes sense.
Doesn't make sense.
Because it only makes sense if they don't. It only makes sense if you're kidnapping people after Radical 6 happened, because then you're like, I need to grab all these people because everyone's fucked, and we're gonna figure out how to go back and undo this. But if the thing hadn't happened yet and you knew it was gonna happen, then why didn't you just stop it yourself instead of this incredibly contrived thing? Motherfucker.